IPL Radio, inspiring passionate lives for the community.
Hey, welcome back everybody. Good afternoon it is, and it has been a great afternoon.
It has.
This is Decca, Mike and Fatima, and we have our next super duper special guest, Mr. Johnny Reid.
Hello, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
How you doing?
Here's Johnny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm
Right,
good.
just a quick intro as to who Johnny is. He's a singer, guitarist, and he lives in Perth. And you've done the pub and club scene, but at the end, now you're breaking into the mainstream, hopefully.
Yeah, I've been doing the gigging scene for about 6 years or so, and
All
then
right.
the end of last year got into the studio to make a record, and
Right.
here we are, I guess.
Very good. Very. So where's your journey taken you so far as the record is concerned?
I mean, I released my first single, Another Life, on the 23rd of July. Did quite
Nice.
well on iTunes, and
So about iTunes, I know you said you did quite well, but tell us about quite well.
so I don't really know how, but I broke the top 20 on the singles charts in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh.
That came in number 19 and number 3 on the country charts as well.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
So,
it
I know,
is.
yeah,
And that's what I
that's how
mean.
you
We
do
don't
it,
want to
right?
skirt over it because that is something pretty awesome, really. you know.
Yeah, it was a shock to me, but I think it's this power of social media and, like from doing the gigging scene for the last 6 years, getting to know quite a lot of people
Yeah.
following me that way, and then just jumped on this like kind of project that I'm doing, my own
course.
record of my own debut album, so it's
Very
been
good.
great.
And
Yeah,
they're all your songs?
yeah, all self-written songs.
So
and-
July this year, last
No, so it came out July, whatever that is, 3 weeks ago
Yep,
or so.
wow.
And then, so it's been crazy since then, to be honest.
Congratulations.
Cruising, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you've got, I know you were saying you've done your own songs, which is great. You've got songs about falling in love, wicked exes. We'll talk about that in a minute. But there's a song about killing a barman. What's the story there?
That one comes up a lot, so I try to keep this short.
Yeah.
I was in a bar after a gig one night. Must be over a year ago now, maybe just before COVID stuff. And I actually hadn't had a drink at this stage, but a particular barman, was quite rude to a female just across the bar. And I was seeing this, and I was like, just had this moment in my head where I just wanted to go behind the bar and grab him by the neck, but didn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
But
was,
you, yeah.
yeah, I had
that's
that. Yeah, and I always say I was watching a lot of Sopranos at the time, so I had a bit of a Tony Sopranos moment in my head.
Okay.
But so no, nothing. I didn't get arrested or nothing like that. That was all in my head. But I'd written this song called "A Bullet in Your Head" and I feel fine, and it's about that exact.
Yeah, yeah.
My moments in my head, I guess.
But the thing about it is that it's some of those moments that bring out some of the best songs. I mean, this morning I was reading about Ed Sheeran in Galway Girl.
Mm.
The first sentence that he sings in that, right, she played a fiddle in an Irish band, is the only true sentence in that. But from that, what he did was he made up the whole song from it.
Yeah.
And as your experience is probably the same.
Well, yeah, that was a new idea for me. Normally, I've been writing just kind of based on actual like realism, and it's a
Yeah.
relationship or travel or something similar to that, or and it's just some sort of experience that actually did happen. This one was something that that idea of what I thought that night, I made it. I just went with it to the exaggeration where it was actually this happened, and we kind of have a saying in Ireland where you milk it for all it's worth, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
for
kind of
sure.
just ran with it as far as I could and made it as extreme as I could. And so, yeah, some of the lyrics and things like that were something I hadn't done before, where it was actually quite a little bit sinister, but it's the song still kind of, I wouldn't say it's not comedy by any means, but it
Yeah.
still has that kind of
Black humour,
Yeah, that's the idea, the black
I
humor.
want to know about the good feedback that you got about your singing, and then that's what pushed you.
Okay.
Please elaborate.
Yeah, so
Please explain.
yeah, I used to be in a cover band like most guys starting out, in teenage years, of garage band with friends and that. And I was originally a bass player. Not my family weren't musical at all, but played bass and started getting into music that way. And then eventually, obviously playing guitar too. But a friend of mine in the band, you probably wouldn't have heard of yet, a guy called Ryan McMullen. He's now a solo singer himself back in Ireland. He's toured the world with Ed Sheeran, as it happens, since he's really, really I'd say up and coming, but he's past that now. Not quite in Australia yet, but I'm sure you will hear of him in the
Yeah,
next.
of course.
Yeah, so the short of it was he actually came to Australia on a little working holiday at the time from the band, and we had gigs at home that needed kind of filled over the summer. So myself and the other guitarists were like, okay, we'll pull it together and share vocals or whatever, you know what I mean, and get through the 2 or 3 summer dates that were left. And yeah, got some good feedback on singing.
That's pretty good.
I'd been doing backing vocals and harmonies and all that thing, but never being like the front man.
So you're at the front, and then you got someone.
Someone had just, you know, like, that was, you
It's
know.
good,
I,
yeah.
well, I kind of seen it on the night, and I was kind of, obviously you're nervous when you begin, like anything, but, and then I just went, this is what I want to do. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to be the front
Front
man.
man, you loved it.
Yeah,
Okay.
loved it.
Well, you got to
Okay.
remember as well is that one of the best bass players in the world came from Ireland. That was Phil Lynott.
I was hoping you'd say him there.
God, honestly. Oh, I nearly swore there. Sorry, beat me out.
Beep.
But he was phenomenal.
Incredible.
And
He's one of our big in the band as well. He was one of our massive inspirations. You know, covering some of their songs back in the
Oh, did
day,
you?
and
Oh, wow. Very
and
good.
even like myself playing bass. And funny enough, when you say him, we did this like teenage thing in some high school. One of the guys was like a. I want to say, like, was it Stars in Your Eyes or something like that? And we went this Thin Lizzy one day.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
I was like 15-year-old
Yeah.
kids, you know what I mean? But no, you're right. Thin Lizzy and Phil Lynott, what a band, yeah.
So what's your influences that you go by?
So yeah, we just mentioned it. Obviously some of the Irish acts as well, but a lot of it would be classic rock and roll bands. You know, anything from, and that kind of broad spectrum as well. It can be a little bit harder rock and roll, Guns N' Roses stuff, to Fleetwood Mac, to the Eagles, and
Yeah,
the more
yeah.
country rock scene. So,
So
it can-
rock and roll.
just rock and
Just
roll.
general rock and roll.
General rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know, it could be Bruce Springsteen one day, the next
Yep.
day it's ZZ Top.
Say
it could be-
Metallica or Akadaka.
yeah, just everything. Yeah, it's just rock
They're
and
the
roll.
good ones, yeah.
Rock and roll. And I even when I'm doing the, you know, before doing the cover scene around town, it's just always classic rock and roll stuff that's gonna
Yeah,
get people
that's
singing
cool.
and dancing, and that's it.
Have you had many crowd singing things where people just start to join in and everyone just goes, yeah, well, everyone's singing now?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I just go with that. That's like I'm well used to that, where it's just singing pub songs, I guess. You know,
Yeah,
everyone
that's it,
kinda
yeah.
gonna, you know, all the hits.
You got a favourite that everybody joins in? Like Hey Jude or something like that or whatever?
Do you know
Hey,
what?
Jude.
That's a good one though. But do you know what? I play that in one of the other cover bands that we get together, and I play bass on that one. But yeah, one of the big ones is just like a classic, like John Denver, Country Roads.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Everybody knows
the end
that
of
one.
The end of the night kind of ones. They seem to
Yeah.
kind of hang around, that your go-to and fallback songs. You know.
For sure. So you seem to have migrated across more to the countryside, is that right?
Oh yeah, well, so yeah, that when we speak about, I said before about classic rock and roll was always kind of my thing. In the last, maybe I want to say more 4 or 5 years, I've leaned a little bit more on the I always bring up Keith Urban as one of the ones, because he's a crossover now where he's still classified as a country artist, but he's not your standard country artist that he's, you know, like Merle Haggard or someone like that there that's really out that way.
Yeah.
He still does the soft rock thing, and he still does even some of his poppy melodies. And I think my music's pretty similar to that, where there's country tones, but a lot of it is still, you can hear that I'm influenced by soft rock and roll,
Yeah, no, that's
and
good.
even my choruses are quite poppy, you know.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I've just noticed something, right? It says on this little data sheet, at around 17 you were playing in pubs and clubs, right?
yeah.
Now the legal age to get into pubs in there is 18, right?
That's true, mate. And
He's
we
got
were.
a
That's why
beard.
we were lucky. We were. Yeah, that's true. For some reason, we were.
Is this-
They turned a blind. I don't know. They turned a blind eye on us when we were
Yeah.
17-year-olds getting into the pub to do the gig. But when we weren't gigging that night, if we came in the next night, we couldn't get in. But if we did the
Oh,
gig
right,
there, we
yeah.
could
Yeah,
come, we
yeah,
could do
yeah.
the gigs.
Ah, sneaky
work,
tricky.
So,
So we-
work, yes, play no.
So we stayed busy as 17-year-olds playing in the pubs just so we could get into the pub as well. So.
So you've got now you're doing country. I don't want to say country and western because that's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, I would never say that it's quite as far as going
Uh-huh.
country and western. It's just that thing of, it's like country rock and roll
Yeah.
blend
So
of pop,
when
a
you-
little blend of something. I don't know.
And when you're doing your pubs and clubs,
Mhm.
do you do it on your own or do you do it with a band or have you got other musicians that you play with?
So most of the time I'll be on my own, but I do. There's some brothers called the Healy Brothers. I don't know if you would have seen them gigging around town. They're originally from Ireland, but I sometimes get together with them and do the classic rock and
Alright,
roll
okay.
thing. I've got my album launch is on the 25th of September
Yes.
in Northbridge in Linnet's Lounge, which used to be the old Rosie O'Grady's. I don't know if you know that in
I know what
Northbridge.
that is, yeah.
But that's actually with a 6-piece band. We've got full, like, that's the full big
Yeah,
band.
so
for that
were
one.
those the guys who, and girls maybe, but were those the people who actually helped you produce the album?
Strangely, only one or two were on the record we'd
Right.
done. So, like, myself and Pete Renzillo, who had produced the record for me, well, with myself, we'd kind of done bits and bobs of.
I'm waving at Tristan.
Sorry.
Sorry.
we'd done bits of bass and bits of guitar work and stuff like that and overdubs, but a lot of the other side instruments were actually. There's an artist in Ireland called Stephen Smith who was, and he's actually a friend of mine. He's an incredible multi-instrumentalist, and he had done his bit from Ireland actually and
Yeah,
sent
right. Oh,
bits
wow.
back over.
Yeah, very good.
So we would maybe send him what I would call, like the bass of the track.
Yeah.
I'll get some guitar down there. We'll get some drums, and track drums, and
Put
bass.
something over
That's
the
a great
top.
way to do
And,
it, yeah.
and he's insane at everything he does, from keys to like pedal steel guitar, whatever. And he was just adding the lights and the flashes on everything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it worked out really great. He could work with him from his studio in Ireland. So.
So where is all of this going to lead you then? Are you going to go on The Voice? Let's talk about The Voice and Keith Urban. He's your hero,
Big
right?
plans.
You know what? Right now, I don't watch those shows, and I don't
Yeah.
really like that. I used to watch them back home for the entertainment factor. I know that The Voice is a little bit more than it actually does have strong singers on it. It's not like the
Yeah, the other ones
crap
we'd-
ones
yeah,
where
which are-
you'd say
that's
sorry,
right,
if you know
yeah.
what I mean. Like the X Factor at home used to be like a comedy show. I did used to watch that a
Yeah.
little bit back in the day, but strangely, I was actually asked to go on The Voice in the UK one, but because they had producers around Belfast, like kind of scouting for singers and things like that, and they would come every year in Belfast. But I really don't like the way them shows. I don't like how the artist is pushed in a certain direction and
Yeah.
has to do a certain style and really hone in on that and do
Yeah.
it that way. I also don't like that they then have their single probably chosen for them a lot of the time,
Yeah.
their first single, and it's
Yeah.
not
It's
something
very
they
manipulated, that's for sure.
and they probably don't have any say of what single it is.
Nah,
and
it's just a production. Then it's like a factory thing. It's not real, is it?
no,
At this
I-
stage, you're just doing what you want, eh?
Yeah, and look,
Yeah.
I understand that if you're gonna,
real.
if someone's gonna, do you know what? I understand that it's never always going to be my way, or and that's it. Because if I do want to be with a major label, you know what I mean, they're going to have to direct me or do whatever, and that's fine. I understand that, but I still want to be releasing my own self-penned song, or at least co-writing songs with artists that will help me progress.
sure.
I'm not going to just turn around and sing a cover of Phil Collins or something like that. You know what I mean? That I'm not
Yeah.
really having any care about. So that's what the short of it was. No, I don't want to be in The Voice or whatever. You know.
But and you're right. I mean, you've got to look at what it is that you're doing. You want to stay true to that. And I'm sure the fact that the direction you will go as well will be governed, as you said, by yourself mainly.
Yeah.
But some of it works with the record companies, some of it doesn't, as we all know,
True. I just only thought while you were speaking there, I had a friend in Belfast who was on The Voice in the UK and got quite far, on the telly and some of them live rounds and things like that. Didn't win it. And I remember on his Twitter feed, he had like 40,000 followers one week, and I thought, all right, this gentleman's doing really well, and sadly he didn't win it, and he's still making music, releasing music, and doing good for himself. But that 40,000 people, they're not real fans, and they've
Yeah.
since dropped off because he's no longer on the TV and whatever. And
Exactly.
if you do it organically, they stay with you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that we spoke before about me being in the iTunes, top 20. That's purely from fans that say fans. Most of them are still friends, just
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
But they followed me for the last 6 years and actually buy the single. And
That's it.
and
You know when it's real that way, don't you?
I mean, yeah.
It's organic, as
We-
you say.
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
the album launch that we're doing, there's 250 tickets sold to that, and they all had to pre-order the album to get it. So from the off, them 250 people have, it's like I said, it's organic. They've bought the record.
Yeah.
They're gonna come to the gig. I could easily pay a Spotify playlist to be streamed to 10,000 people or whatever, or an advert for 10,000 people. It wouldn't be real, and they wouldn't
Yeah.
buy the record, and they wouldn't come to the show. So, what's that about if you're not doing it that way?
Correct. So when it comes to the show itself, you did say the date. I forgot.
25th of September.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So on that particular day, is it sold out?
Well, I hope it will be by then. There's probably, it's coming on to being sold out.
Right,
at
because
this stage.
that's why I'm it. Because I'd be interested in coming along
Oh,
as
great.
well. You know?
Yeah, you guys, I'll get you all. If you,
Oh,
if
we
you-
we pay for tickets. We don't.
No,
don't take.
don't worry
heavily.
about that. But no, we're doing I'm kind of doing it a little bit different for our launch because I know I want to hold people's attention as well. So we're actually going to play the album straight through, take a little break, and then it's just going to be a bit of a celebration
Oh,
night.
very good,
So
yeah.
we're talking about classic rock and roll there. That night is going to be the 6-piece band. but we're
So
gonna-
we get VIP passes for the beers afterwards,
you
right?
get the beers, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
it's
hoping
good.
we're going. Yeah, we'll set up a tab.
Yeah.
I'm
What we could
hoping-
also do is do a live show from there.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Inspire
You guys would
Radio.
be more than welcome, honestly. Yeah,
Alright.
that'd be. It's not going to be one of these nights where you're sitting listening all night for 3 hours, 4 hours of songs you don't know. You know, we're going to do
Hey,
the
I don't
album.
mind if they're good. Just like say, I enjoy music regardless. We're all musicians.
Ah,
for
brilliant.
sure.
Yeah, no, but we're going to do the album right through, take a little break, and it's just going to be,
Yeah.
a bit of a party then,
Yeah,
and
cool.
that's what.
So what's it like with all the groupies? Then I bet you get heaps of people going, "No, take me," and then throwing their like t-shirts at you or whatever they throw at you. You know?
T-shirts.
Yeah, I was being polite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, throwing. I had that at a Mandra gig once.
Ah, you
but
see, got it.
but maybe that's Mandra. But no, I'm actually engaged now, so I
Oh,
I
very
try to
good.
stay keep the head down with that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoy the laugh, but yeah, I don't
And
really
your
take
fiance,
advantage of it.
does your
So-
fiance play an instrument?
No, she's a great singer though.
All right,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Really great singer.
She play sing in the band. Yeah.
No, do you know? I've sort of asked her before. That I even said that you want to come and do a harmony on the album. She wasn't too keen on that. She was
Yeah.
a bit more. She's actually not shy at all when it comes to general day-to-day life, but seemed to be when it came to actually, music isn't their thing in terms of
Yeah, of
performing
course.
live in front of people or.
What you got to look at here is that's how Lady Gaga started in Star Is Born, right?
Oh yeah,
See what I mean? She might just be the one.
yeah.
You never
Ah,
know.
She
right,
has
yeah.
a phenomenal voice.
Yeah,
She actually
yeah.
always shows me up because if we ever have a little lock-in in a pub or
Yeah,
or a house party, and then everyone throws the guitar to me, and then I'm singing all sorts of like rock and roll numbers, and then it's her turn to sing, and then she doesn't need the guitar, and she just sings, and everyone
Oh,
just
yeah.
sits like that, and then I go, all right,
Your head goes down and goes,
Yeah.
"Give me beer."
and then I just come back. Yeah, here's the Beatles.
So have you got any YouTube videos out? Have you?
So my music video for Another Life is on YouTube at the minute.
That's as the full video. It's like all outside and stuff like that. It's not just like on stage or anything, is it?
No, it was properly shot video around
nice,
Perth,
yeah.
and we actually had some drone footage from Ireland as well on it, and some drone
beautiful.
footage from Perth. So it was quite a little bit of
Well,
an
that'd
effort.
be a
but it
good
was-
combination. Yeah.
Yeah, so the song isn't directly about moving Another Life to Australia. It's not really that, but it can be taken that way. That I guess it's my life in Ireland and my life in Australia. But the song was actually about the memories with someone else in another life, which we'll probably hear soon, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
here we go.
Well,
Yeah, we've
I've just
got
got
it.
one more question before we do go to the song. Your family,
Yes.
are they still across in Ireland?
Yeah, they're in Ireland.
So what do they think of all of this?
My mum and dad aren't even Facebook people or nothing.
Yeah,
they're
right.
really.
So they don't have a clue.
No, well, they know because people in the hometown maybe tell them, and my sister tells them in Ireland, and I tell them when I'm chatting, like if I'm doing a couple of radio things or like the iTunes thing and all that, and they know that obviously I'm making an album, but they don't really know, or they don't see the social media, they don't, and I kind of like that they're not interested in any of that, like my dad in particular wouldn't. He's pretty old school that way, and none of this stuff would interest him. Facebook world, Instagram world, and yeah,
Not having any of that.
He's probably, he's probably better off, but in many ways. But yeah, they're happy. So.
All right, very good. Well,
Cool beans. All right, if you want to introduce your song, I will put it on for you right now.
Okay, so I'm Johnny Reid, and this is Another Life.
Enjoy.